At the beginning of the story we see a man named Sang Min. He was coming to Korea after completing his studies from USA. A very beautiful girl was sitting next to Sang, that is why he was looking at her again and again. Then when she lands, Sang starts following the same girl at the airport, but then the girl's husband comes there to pick her up. After seeing this, Sang gets very jealous, but Sang was a number one jerk and she was a different one. He goes near the girl's feet and drops his phone so that he can make a video of her, but the girl kicks his phone. When he looks back, the girl is none other than Buna, the granddaughter of his grandfather's friend, who met him there. Buna, who had come to pick her up, looks at Sang and says that you are a jerk, you have not improved yet. Sang says that Buna, you have grown up a lot now. After this both of them sit in the bus and leave to go to their home. Then when both of them reach home, Sang's mother is very happy to see him. In fact, Sang's grandfather and Buna's grandfather were very good friends, but Sang's grandfather passed away at a very young age, after which Buna's grandfather took care of his friend's children. And he had brought up his wife exactly like his own child and wife, that is why Buna and Sang's family lived with each other exactly like their own. Sang went to meet Buna's grandfather as soon as he arrived, because he was ill. Buna lived with him as usual. She was making grandfather breakfast when he calls Sang to him and then says that now both of you have grown up, I will tell you both a story. He tells that Sang's grandfather and I met each other for the first time in the war. We met and from there our friendship started. Our friendship was so good that we both decided that we will convert our friendship into kinship and get our children married to each other's children. That is why I want you both to get together. Fulfill my friend's last wish. On hearing all this, Sang says, Grandpa, you Buna, now you are not old enough to joke. Then Grandpa starts shouting and says, I am not joking, I wish you both were together before I die. I want to see this happening so that I can fulfill my friend's last wish and die comfortably. Hearing all this, Buna gets very upset and says that how can a 15-year-old school-going girl marry a middle-aged boy? After this and leaves from there, Sang also tells Grandpa that he is also not going to marry a girl of his daughter's age, and then he also leaves from there. Next day Sang meets some of his old friends. He goes to a departmental office to meet Sang. There he meets an old classmate of his who was a Canva painter like him and is very happy to see Sang. Then he meets some of his other friends who are also very happy to see him. They ask him why did he come back and he says that I did not come, I have been called forcefully and that too to marry a 15-year-old chimkandi. Here we see Bona going to his school. Bona's school. There was a boy named Jong in Buna's school. All the girls in Buna's school were crazy about Jong, many of them had even committed suicide for him. Here, Grandpa calls Sang's dad and tells him that I am in the hospital. The doctor asked me to said that I am not going to live more than 20 years, now you will have to do something, after which Sang's dad goes to talk to Sang's mother about his marriage, but Sang and his mom were so busy watching the movie that they don't pay attention to Dad's words, due to which Dad gets very angry and starts breaking his own car with a bat. Then when Sang and his mother's attention goes towards them, she says that she is going to get married. Get ready now, no one can save you. Here we see Buna, who was sitting and watching Jong playing. Actually, along with the whole school, Buna also liked Jong. After school, when Buna starts going home, outside the school he sees Buna waiting with her and takes his friend to a cafe and tells her that I am thinking that we should get married, on which Buna gets angry and he says that he was having fun, and then Sang asks him if he wants anything else, to which Buna's friend says, Uncle, in the limit, are you our sugar daddy? Then Buna gets a call that Grandpa's health has become very bad. On the other hand, we see Grandpa lying in the hospital, misbehaving with the cardiac event monitor, but as soon as Buna and Sang come there, Grandpa starts pretending to faint and even switches off the monitor, after which Buna and Sai start crying in fear. Buna cryingly says, Grandpa, from now on I will do whatever you say. If you ask me to marry this jerk, I will do that too, but please open your eyes once and only then, Grandpa. We open our eyes. After this we see Sang sitting at the bar and crying. He was telling his friends that he does not want to get married at such a young age, and even less than that. Buna is sitting on her bed and crying. Then her mom comes there and Buna tells her that she doesn't want to get married right now. I am still in school and I have to go to college also. And her mom says that no problem, you can go to school even after your marriage. In the next scene, we see the wedding of Buna and Sanak, where many guests were present, but Buna had invited only her best friend. and she had forbidden her to tell anyone in the school that she was getting married. Buna was not at all happy with this marriage. She tells her mom that grandfather has scammed her. She is absolutely fine. I love it. She is not going to marry, on which she says don't say that otherwise this marriage will turn into samadhi. After this, the wedding ceremony of Buna and Sang starts. Only after the marriage, both Sang and Buna were going to be sent to Jeju for honeymoon. But before leaving from there, Sang's dad explains to her that don't even try to do anything like that with her, she is just 15 years old. After this, Buna and Sahak leave for the airport where Sang friends also came to drop her, but before sitting in the flat, Buna tells Sang that she has to go to the toilet. Sang says okay, you come straight from the toilet to the plane, I will meet you there. Sang sits on his seat and waits for Buna. It seems but the plane takes off and Bona does not come. Here we see Bona who had run away from there on the pretext of bathroom. It is night and Bona goes to watch a movie instead of going to her home, while on the other hand Juju is in the hotel where Sang is staying. I was staying in the room below her. A newly married couple was romancing but Sang could not see all this, that is why he took out toilet water and threw it on her. Next day Buna goes to her school and starts sleeping fresh there. Just then her crush Jong also comes there and starts freshening up. Buna takes out her handkerchief for him which makes Jong very happy and then he takes her to play with him. After school, both of them also go out for a walk, where Jong asks her if she has a boyfriend and she says no. Hearing this, Jong holds her hand. Then at night, Buna was waiting outside her house for Sang to come back. Then when Sang returns from Juju. When he arrives, both of them wear their traditional dresses and enter the house as if they have returned from a honeymoon together. The whole family celebrates their arrival. Grandpa asks how was the trip of both of you, to which Sang says it was very good, we had a lot of fun with each other. After this Grandpa says that now that both of you are married, make me a great-grandfather as soon as possible. Only then Buna's dad says to Sang that you both of you must be very tired, go to your room and rest, after which Sang takes Buna in his lap and takes her to his room and throws her on the bed. Next morning Buna's dad buys Sang and Buna a new house. Both of them were going to live there. Buna likes that house very much. At night, Buna was studying in the room of her new house when Sang comes there wearing shorts. Buna says how can you come to my room in this condition? Ho Sang says that we are married, you are my wife, so today I will sleep with you only, to which Buna says, have you gone mad? Sang starts going closer to Buna and says yes, today you don't want anything from me. He is unable to save her but then he falls on Buna due to which Buna gets very scared and out of fear she sticks a pen in his head. Seong, seeing blood flowing from his head, says to her, you crazy girl, I was just having fun. Next day Bona gets ready and goes to her school where she tells her best friend that I am dating Jong, on which her friend asks her, what will happen to your husband then? Bona says that she knows about Jong. I will not let you walk here. Sag was sitting with his friends and trying to be a man in front of them. He calls Buna and says, wife, wherever you are, come to me right now. After some time, Bona reaches the bar but the waiter Buna. He doesn't allow Buna to come inside because she was not 18 plus but then Sahan says let her come in, she is my wife after which Buna comes inside. Sang has introduced her to his friends. Sang had drunk more than the limit, that is why Sang Jaiso's friend takes her to drop her home. In the car, Jaiso says to Buna that you two are made for each other. Buna says yes you can say, he has been following me since my childhood. Now let us meet the next day. Buna is shown in her school. Buna was going towards her class when some seniors of her school catch her and take her with them and one of the seniors tells her that Jong is my man if you even look at him. I will kill you. Then Jong comes there and while protecting Buna, breaks up with his old girlfriend. After this he takes Buna with him and tells her that you are my princess, after which in the evening Buna she goes shopping with Sang to the supermarket where Buna falls from the trolley due to which she sprains her legs, after which Sang carries her on his shoulders and brings her home but Sang was a big jerk and touched her inappropriately. Then when both of them reach home, they both cook together. Next day, when Buna goes to school, Sang goes to her room just like that, where he sees Buna's photo with Jong. Sang feels very bad after seeing this but when Buna comes, Sang doesn't say anything to her. The next day Sang himself goes to drop Buna to school while Buna goes to her class. So Sang goes to the principal's office where a teacher from Buna's school was scolding Sang. Then the principal of that school comes there. From the conversation between the principal and Sang, we come to know that Sang is here to teach art to the children. A teacher named Miss Kim has come and takes Sang to his first class and tells the children that from today onwards Mr. Sang will teach you art. Buna and her friends are shocked when they see Sang there. Then in the evening all the school teachers party with Sang, but Miss Kim had already fallen in love with Sang at first sight, that is why she was hitting on him. Then when Sang reaches home, Buna asks him that he left all the schools and joined my family. Why did you join the school? To which he says, so that I can take care of you, and don't worry, I will not tell anyone that you are my wife, after which Buna angrily leaves from there. Next morning when Sang wakes up he is very upset. Tej was urinating, but when he goes to the toilet, Buna was already brushing his teeth there. When Sang asks him to go out, she shoos him away from there, after which he goes to the kitchen sink and urinates. Sang Bona reaches school. He was taking Buna's class, but as soon as he takes out his handkerchief to clean his face, Buna sees that Sang has her patty in his hand. Actually, in a hurry, Sang had brought Buna's patty instead of the handkerchief. Buna signale sans. After which Sang puts it back in his pocket. During lunch, Miss Kim had brought lunch from her home for Sang. She takes Sang along with her and starts having lunch with him and also flirts with him, but meanwhile all the children of the school, Miss Kim and Sang, were seeing. After school Sang goes to meet Jiyeon and asks him if you are Hee-jong. He says yes, to which Sang angrily throws the ball at him and says that you are within your limits. Stay, but then Skim sees Sang, that is why Sang runs away from there by crossing the wall of the school. After reaching home, Sang was watching porn videos and Buna was stopping him from doing so, but then someone knocks their door. When Sang goes to the door and sees Miss Kim coming there, Sang and Buna quickly start hiding Buna's belongings. Then when Miss Kim comes there, she sees someone behind the curtains and she starts going to see him. So Buna runs away from there with the curtains. Miss asks Kim Sang who she was. He says that she is my cousin and he is a little crazy. Now we are shown the scene of the next day where Buna Sang is seen. She was preparing because today he was going to give his military service. Sang gets ready and goes to the military campus, but after some time Buna reaches the military camp with lunch for Sang. Sang starts eating lunch, but then Sang is there. Her seniors reach there and see her eating outside, after which they punish her, but when Fana sees her husband being punished, she goes to her senior and abuses her a lot and says that be careful from today onwards. You punished my hubby. Then in the evening Sang and Buna together have a party with their army friends where they dance a lot. After the party, when Sang and Buna were going home, some thieves came there. They try to rob them and also kill Sang, after which Buna breaks his head by hitting him with a stick, after which the police catch them and take them to the police station. The police think that Sang is Buna's sugar daddy, but Sang says, is it my wife or not? After which the police calls someone there to give a statement on their behalf. Sang calls the school principal there, but along with the principal, Mosquito tells that Sang is married, so he is very jealous. Next day, Miss Kim makes a team of all the children of the school and gives them the work of decoration for the school festival, but she asks Buna to do all the work alone. Buna was given the task of painting a huge poster by Miss Kim. She couldn't do it alone, that's why Sang asks Buna's friend to help her. They do some work and leave, after which Sang gets scared of going there and painting her poster, but then some girls from the school, who were Buna's sisters-in-law, come there. Next day, when Buna comes to school, she sees that her painting has gone a long way. She asks her friend who did this and she says, don't you remember, we did it yesterday. In fact, Sang had forbidden him from helping Buna and also from telling him that he was helping him. Similarly, more than half of Buna's work gets completed. Then one day, Buna told his friend about Sang. She was talking, but suddenly her step-in-law, who was in the bathroom, overhears all her words. After going to Buna's house, Sang comes there with his friends and along with them, starts finishing Buna's painting, while Buna's brother, who was making a video of some girl for his story in a store, but suddenly he sees Buna and Jong there and after that he made a video of both of them. He takes it but Buna is unable to see him. After this, she goes to a restaurant with Jong to have dinner. Then Sang messages her, everyone is waiting for you at the monthly family dinner, after which Buna runs away from the restaurant and reaches the family dinner. But then Buna's brother shows them the video of Buna and Young. On seeing the video, Buna runs away from there, after which Sang goes after her. Buna was sitting on a swing, then Sang asks her, do you remember that in childhood? I used to bring you to swing on this swing, but one day you fell from the swing, after which you stopped trusting me, on which Buna says sorry to her and goes back to her home and lies down in her mother's lap. She says that we are sorry, all this happened because of Grandpa, we should have asked about your likes and dislikes. Then when Buna comes to her house, she calls her friend and tells that Sang already knows everything about me and Geo. But he didn't say anything to me, on which she said that he loves you very much, even he is paying more attention to your school festival painting than his graduation exhibition, after which Buna runs away from there to school where she meets her friends. When Buna wakes up, she finds Sang nowhere. She goes to Sang's room, where she preserves Sang's childhood photos along with letters from his childhood. Now we see Bona's school festival happening where everyone is performing, but Buna is looking for Sane. Then Sane is called on the stage to give a speech because today was his last day in school. Also Sane's speech, while giving it, Bona tells on the Satanpur stage that our Sir is married and Sir's wife is none other than Buna, after which Sang says that I accept that Buna is my wife, but it is not his fault in this marriage. Buna is forced to fulfill her grandfather's last wish even though she loves Jong. But with folded hands I beg you not to discriminate against Buna because she is married. But Buna also starts crying after listening to Sai's words and tells him that I have loved you since childhood, but I realized this very late and I don't care what anyone thinks about me or you. After which Sang hugs Bona, and with this our story ends here. So friends, how did you like this story? Do tell us by commenting.